Imagine arriving in the UK, going through airport security and then being ordered to hand over your phone and laptop with the passwords for an examination. And one British Muslim activist was arrested after he refused to do that.
Forcing someone to hand over their passwords is like a digital strip search. It is more pervasive than a physical strip search. With a digital strip search, it's not merely the possessions that you carry that are searched, it's all your personal and professional life that's online.
But the UK government says it has legitimate reasons, referring to Schedule 7 of the UK Terrorism Act. Meanwhile, the detained activist organisation is not shy of scandal, having previously made highly controversial statements on terrorists. And we have reactions to the case.
He's been stopped 20 times in 10 years. This gentleman is someone who appears to attract a lot of attention from our security and intelligence services. We have to wonder why that might be. I mean, presumably, it's not just because he's such a charming chap that they stop him all the time. Cage has had this most disturbing relationship with Jihadi John.
We're not here to discuss the issue of Mohammed Emwazi, aka Jihadi John. We're here to talk about Mohammed Rabbani. That was why I was invited on, so let's keep on the subject matter. Mr. Rabbani pleading his innocence, it was to do with safeguarding his client, who's a torture victim, and that he didn't want to put him in danger by giving them access to information in the middle of an investigation. Now, this wouldn't be expected of a solicitor or a lawyer or a barrister or any other NGO member, so why was it expected of Mr. Rabbani from Cage?
Most disturbing relationship with Jihadi John, which Dilly doesn't want to talk about because it's awkward. But there it is, it's a matter of public record.
Because that's not the subject matter, David.
The fact that he has been stopped so frequently does beg questions.
He's been stopped 20 times. How come he's been allowed to come in and out of the country? I think it speaks for itself that clearly there's nothing to charge or to pin on Mr. Rabbani.
Security services have got a fundamental right to ensure that at every opportunity such people and their sympathisers are interrogated and that information provided to save innocent life. So I want to save innocent life. Dilly, I wonder to you.
0.02% of all stops led to arrests. 0.02%.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Very disproportionate.
And keep in mind how many lives that might save. Let's do that. Let's keep in mind the number of lives that could be saved by that 0.2%. Now, I stand with those who protect human life, and I'm sure, Dilly, you do as well. So I'm very surprised that you've got a problem with Mr. Rabbani in this case, simply providing...
David. But you're conflating the two here. You're intentionally conflating the two, but it's fine. You can do that if you want.
Well, the incident is far from being an isolated one, as Daniel Hawkins now reports.
It's not just the UK going down such a route. An Iranian-born BBC reporter was recently detained in Chicago and ordered to hand over his phone and password so his political views could be vetted.
It needs to be challenged because you cannot allow these things to continue if it's not based on clear intelligence and information. We have to challenge to ensure it does not include unconscious bias being exhibited by officers. And, of course, we have to make sure that the policies and procedures of the organisation, whether the police or other enforcement agencies, are not advocating racial profiling because they don't have the internal checks and balances.
Campaign groups have launched a petition against the new vetting measures seen by many as increasingly draconian, but others see this as a necessity in a rapidly changing world.
We need to understand that the world has changed dramatically over the last 15, 20 years. Innovation has meant that people use information and use intelligence in different ways. And I think we need to also understand that the authorities need to keep us safe. And keeping us safe sometimes is a little bit of breach of our human rights, if you like. But this is all about preventing people from committing mass murder. Let's not forget that.
As travel laws are tightened across continents, states and security forces tread an increasingly fragile line between security and privacy, one that is becoming ever more blurred. Daniel Hawkins, RT, London.